Ah, crap. Jeez. See, now I hit the go live and completely have forgotten. The lighting lady gets docked pay today. Right. I am. I'm the lighting lady and makeup, the boom operator, and everything all at once that way. Yeah, hi, this is Dr. Mia Luth. It is the 12th of April, 2026. It's 11:41 Eastern Time, USA, New York, USA. And I'm. This is mostly going to be about Winnipeg Jets Ice Hockey. But congratulations to the Moose, the AHL affiliate. They are going to go to the playoffs. So I'm rooting for the Moose. The Jets, yes, mathematically may have won, but yes, like I said, no, we're hitting the emergency brake. We're not going to take flight off into the. And one of the main reasons is, yes, here's something. I I do everything I can to be as positive about NHL goaltenders as I possibly can because it is an extraordinarily difficult job, and a lot of people don't understand that. All right, but I do, and I encourage goalies whenever I get a chance. I mean, it doesn't always have to be, ice hockey, but for the most part, I concentrate on ice hockey when it comes to sports. Here's the thing: is I don't care. I've listened. I do listen to you, Winnipeg. Okay, I may live in Maryland. Okay, and sometimes it doesn't feel like Maryland. Like maybe Cecil County should get absorbed by like Delaware or Pennsylvania. Regardless, I know I live in Maryland, but I've been, listening to you guys and paying attention to you, Winnipeg, Manitoba, for quite a while. And when I was listening to 680 this year, W or CJOB 680, I listened to the pre games and I try to listen to the post games. Sometimes post games not as much because I try to like get on with Kenny and Rennie and listen to the post game press coming out of the Jets. Uh, and I discuss things that get discussed in the United States that don't get discussed in Canada. There's a few. Well, let me put it to you this way: some of it gets discussed when you talk about the Habs, the Montreal Canadiens. But the reason it gets discussed is because a guy like Marty St. Louis, who's the coach, who I mean, I could see Coach coming out of this guy before he retires. So I mean, I think it's the right kind of job for him. The Habs do kind of, yes, they have a little more understanding of U.S. hockey because they have a guy like Marty St. Louis whose entire career was in the U.S., also in the Eastern Conference. Um, but there's other people involved, right? But other than that, okay, especially when it comes to those who are talking publicly about the Winnipeg Jets. I can get some of it online. I have the radio player, and I listen to. Sometimes I have to re-listen to uh, Jim and Cam, uh, Jim and Cam, and sometimes special guests. Sometimes I have to rewatch some Kenny and Rennie. I am an individual who has not just one debilitating uh, medical condition, but more than and people don't seem to care at all about that, or me, or their own humans around them on a day-to-day basis. And that's hard sometimes. But I'm going to say what I say about Winnipeg Jets Ice Hockey because with some of the people who are very adamant about your opinions on chats and doing, podcasts and live shows, which I appreciate because I get a chance to, think about hockey and talk about hockey, and that's great. And I understand where some people are coming from. I just also understand that you don't have 40 years in like I do. And I don't just pay attention to one team. I pay attention to all. Like I've been studying the entire National Hockey League for a very long time. And considering what's going on with the Jets, words like, horrible people who are bracing for a complete fire sale. You can be as dramatic as you like, but that's not going to happen. I'm putting my life on that statement. That's how 100% sure I am that there will be no fire sale over the summer. We will not be rebuilding. Okay? Those are I mean, right? Some people want to call me delusional. I mean, people will call me all kinds of crap while I've been trying to love ice hockey all over the place. And some of it's hurtful because it's not true. And it comes from people who are actually the delusional ones. I have a degree in psychology and a lot of human experience. And the need to rebuild from scratch is not present with the Winnipeg Jets, no matter what any of you say. And quite a few of you aren't Winnipeg Jets fans. Some of you I know get on chats and you aren't Winnipeg Jets fans. You're fans of another club. Uh, the one thing that I absolutely can say is that you know True North Sports and Entertainment absolutely do need to really thoroughly get some help, get some specialists, get some people who know how where to look and what to look for. Completely just rethink all the positions, not player personnel. I'm talking about all the positions that we deal, and most particularly upper mid. Okay, there is no GM in the National Hockey League should have 100% security. He's been at this for a while. Okay, maybe he should be doing a different job and someone else. I'm not the one to answer that question, but if you don't actually put him and some of the other people working in management and operations under a mic, a microscope and do some real, effort. He needs to know that his job might be on the line for one, and also, you know, maybe there's someone who would do better as GM that's already in. Okay, but if you don't, I definitely won't be able to get back online next season. I know people come and go. They don't want to. They want to ignore me because either they don't want to hear what I have to say, and they don't want to give me the respect. Being a 54-year-old who has been studying the National Hockey League for 40 years and has seen franchises in far worse shape and difficulty than the Winnipeg Jets, some of whom, right, didn't make it to the next year as a franchise. That's nothing like this. I know none of you care about me, including the people who are around me that I look at every day. Give a shit about me and the fact that my whole family's dead. And the fact that I do all this for free. I gotta take the fucking hits for free. Don't call me delusional. Ever again. If you aren't psychologists and psychiatrists, you know what I'm trying to say? Just stop using certain words. You understand? I've seen worse things happening with franchises. In one case, the franchise went belly up. Okay? But I'm saying to True North Sports and Entertainment, you know, out of love for Winnipeg and ice hockey and all those things, the best thing to do is, yep, put Chevy in the hot seat. You really have to be looking hard at some of these positions, and maybe some changes need to be made within the organization. I'm not saying from without, but if you don't do that this summer, you are not hockey smart. You want to be hockey smart. You're not going to get anywhere near a cup. So stop listening to certain people and start asking for some help, understanding some things about the National Hockey League as it is today. And Connor Hellebuck is getting older, okay? 33 does not mean he's a dinosaur, okay? Some of you all have to stop being so ageist. Understand experience and respect your elders. Goalies in the NHL, you know, the time of like Marty Berger is gone, okay? And in the NHL, it is much, much, much wiser for the sake of the goalie and the team, okay, to have closer. You don't have to tandem. You don't have to even split. You understand? Okay, but for Connor Hellebuck's sake, okay, repeated use. His knees already taken hits. His hips are probably taking hits. His elbows are probably taking hits. Okay, repeated use injury. It's guaranteed in the National Hockey League. Okay, so what I'm saying is that I don't care how much Connor Hellebuck wants to play. Doesn't mean I hate him or think he sucks. It means it is not wise to play him the way he has been played this year. I'm not saying replace Connor Hellebuck with Comrie. I am not on board with the ride the hot goalie situation as much as some others because they don't understand the position or the stats. So they just talk. And a lot of them just repeat stuff that they heard from some press or some blogger or some drunk asshole on the corner near the metro station. Okay. He played in the Olympics, so he did not get a break. And then right out of that, he goes and plays 11, 12. I don't even know. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable for his sake or the sake of the team. Now, if any of you, okay, don't know how to approach him about that, yeah, hit me up with some Skype. And I'll do it. My name is Dr. Mia Luth. I will do it. Okay? He has to play a little fewer. I mean, 55 is still a lot of games. Okay, 50 and 35. I don't care. No goalie in the NHL should play 11, 12 games straight. That is not smart. That is hockey wrong. That is not wisdom. And that is not helping Connor Hellebuck. Because those repetitive use injuries are gonna start getting worse. Certain things are gonna, right. So, right, you don't want to keep pushing and you don't want to keep going. You want to stay at a steady, okay? And you want to have your backup. You never want your backup to get cold. I don't give a shit what anybody who's never played in the net says, who doesn't work for the NHL, who doesn't understand physiology says. Repetitive use injuries affect every single goalie in the National Hockey League, particularly starters. And at this point in time, it is important to try and reduce some games, stress and pressure to keep you going at a much more steady rate with fewer injuries. It also helps you play better. So I'm not saying, I understand Comrie's not Hellebuck, but you should never, ever, ever let your backup goalie get cold. Ever. There is no replacement for on ice gameplay. It doesn't matter. You can do VR. You can practice all you want. You can do all this stuff. But none of that will replace time spent on ice. NHL game reality. Nothing can replace that. There's some people who may know some of the things that I put out online. I wrote a little bit for Bulls by the Bay. I have a hockey blog, which turned into an everything blog. I, discuss things sometimes on my Twitter X account, which, I mean, is someone trying to shut down a little woman who needs fucking help in the real sense? What the fuck is your problem? I want my X account back. I wasn't doing anything wrong. It's not right. Okay? Like, if some of you don't get it, then just put me up on Skype with Connor Hellebuck and I'll explain it to him. And I'll give him real world answers. And I will, draw him and show him some things that other goalies, National Hockey League goalies, have said over the years. It is about this time in goalie's career, and I'm specifically talking about Connor Hellebuck, to let off the constant pressure of 60 or more games. It is not wise in today's NHL, especially considering issues with the knee. Okay, well, there's going to be stuff that bothers you about your hips. There's going to be stuff that bothers you about your elbows. There's going to be stuff the other knee's going to be an issue at some point. You understand? These things are absolutely guaranteed. If you are an NHL starting goaltender, you get to like season 8, 9, 10, right? Okay, the way you prepare, things are going to start changing. It is not hockey smart, and I don't care how Connor Hellebuck feels about it. He needs to adjust. And Connor's plenty good enough to be able to handle like 30 some games. Or if Connor Hellebuck gets injured again, there are so many people online and in the media and talking about Winnipeg Jets Ice Hockey, and you refuse to talk about the things I'm talking about. You just want to say they're going to use this as an excuse. They're never going to change. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. Do you want an NHL franchise or do you not want an NHL franchise? Don't be talking to me about how I'm a hockey family. Don't be talking to me about how kind and generous you are. I've been asking for help for fucking years. I'm still taking hits. You want to know why? Fake celebrities. Listen, yes, there is one I don't. Yes, my ex account got suspended because someone named Daddy Ranky hacked my fucking account, and now X refuses to get back to me via email. Even though I filled out some of those forms, did all they just want to steal my intellectual property. I mean, how else do you want to look at it? If she doesn't have X, she can't ask for help. I have no faith in humankind anymore because of all of you. I would never wish anything that has happened to me to any of you, ever. Fake lead singer from a rock band on, what's this called? Oh, this is Google Chat. I think this is chat. Right, I stopped talking to everybody else, but this one occasionally, and just like, yes, he was born and raised in the United States of America, and at no point would he ever spell the word checks with a Ques at the end. No way. He would spell it CHEK or ECKS. So who the fuck is this fake motherfucker? Who's testing me? Who? What anonymous asshole who doesn't give a shit about a real life human being whose entire fucking family is dead, who has been dealing with horrible things the majority of her life. I didn't fucking bring this on myself. This is not my fucking karma. Shut your fucking faces with your goddamn religion. You don't have a right to do that here in the United States of America. Have some balls, cowards. You all don't talk about the things you should be talking about. Winnipeg Jets, press, and all these other things. Okay? You know about John Tortorella? Yeah, of course. You don't like the fact that the coach didn't answer your question because it's not a simple question to answer, and he needs to talk to the room. And he said he would address it later. Now, if you don't like that, then you are in the wrong business. Some of you think you have a right to know some things, but you don't. Connor Hellebuck should not play so many games in a regular season anymore. That is not smart hockey. That is not wise just for the sake of Connor Hellebuyck himself. Okay, you wait until you know you're not going to make the playoffs. Well, even though there's a tiny percentage chance, yes. Well, okay, that this like this happens all the time, and we discuss it out loud in the United States a lot. But at no point in time is there any public push for a franchise to purposely and intentionally lose on purpose. Whether it comes from the GM, whether it's the GM doing it, or the players, or the coaches. You guys are the ones who are delusional. That is absolutely incorrect. The NHL will find a way to just rip apart your fucking franchise if anybody keeps fucking thinking that that is exactly what you're supposed to do. Okay? Nick Jesus, you guys all talk about, still hasn't won a Stanley Cup. I don't give a shit what some of you want. You are the ones who are unrealistic about this game. Some of you are the ones making up excuses. I know way better about certain things when it comes to goaltending than 99.999999999% of the human public. Why are fake celebrities constantly trying to get a hold of me? There's no way he's the last one. I stopped talking to him on DMs altogether. This one, right, just happened to re-chat me up, right? They absolutely can't trust this one because there's no way that this particular, right, lead singer for a popular rock band would, right, spell the words checks with a Queus. I do think a lot of people are cowards. I also think that there are a lot of people who get on Winnipeg Sports Talk and those other places. Okay, well, you don't bother to listen to me. And you don't bother to come here to get different perspectives from someone who has been listening to NHL players, their families, their everybody since I was fucking 8 years old. I'm a nerd, man. I listen to what GMs say. I listen to what goalies say. I listen to what forwards say. I listen. I listen. And you can hate on, the United States all you want. But I mean, there are things that they discuss that somehow you guys just refuse to do. Winnipeg. Okay? Go talk to the Blackhawks fans. 40 some fucking years. I don't agree that Chevy's job, I don't agree that it's all, you know what I'm saying? But at this point, all right, there needs to be some very serious conversations having to do with certain decisions. Yeah, 2020 hindsight is always great to get on and try and right. Are you guys trying to fucking right kill the Winnipeg Jets? Are you trying to make that franchise just be no more? There's some people talk about coach killers. There's some people talk about goalie killers. Yeah, well, there's such a thing as franchise killers. Okay, but none of you bother to come here and listen to my perspectives. And you really should. Right. Listen to your elders who know better than you, many of you. Connor Hellebuck should not be expected to play 60 some games because in today's NHL, it is known, right, that decreases the amount of time you can spend in an NHL goal. It increases the chances of certain injuries, and it also means your goalie is game cold. Your backup goalie is game cold, and that is not smart ice hockey in the National Hockey League. Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele, Morrissey, right. These guys are signed. Okay. They're not old dinosaurs. Also, some teams are more physical in the NHL and a little slower, but yet they know how to slow down the fast teams. All of you think you know better, and you keep coming at this without thinking, using your mind, watching games for 40 years, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of them. None of you give a shit about a little fucking woman who has no fucking family who needs fucking help. You'd rather attack me than do the right thing. Have no fucking respect for anybody that thinks a fucking franchise should fail and lose on purpose. They're the delusional ones. You can take your name calling and shove it right up your unhockey knowing asses. Thanks for fucking making my life pure hell.